Alrighty, this is the second episode we've recorded for the week.
The Unfunded episode 11.2.
Point two. Unfortunately, we recorded about 40 minutes of yesterday's episode. We usually record on the Monday. We recorded about 40 minutes and...
maybe 30. Come on.
No, we were pretty deep in. We were pretty deep in. About 40 minutes in and into a pretty good topic. We'll obviously get into the topic later. And Sarah started dropping a lot of F-bombs and realised she hadn't actually recorded any of what we said.
Look, I don't know exactly what happened because you guys saw me press the record button, but it's possible that I pressed it twice.
Well, I don't know.
So it went on and off very
Producer
quickly.
Sarah has got pretty much one really significant job.
Yeah, that's it. Just press the record button
Press record.
and I couldn't even do that.
And you didn't do it.
God.
That sphere is not ours.
Yeah, I don't know all those knob jockeys and whatnot buttons.
Look, I'm only
Out of my
human,
league.
guys.
Yeah.
Sometimes I fuck up and
Yeah.
that's pretty obvious.
That's
Yeah,
right, we all
fair
do.
enough.
Well, this
That's all
is
right,
the
Sarah.
this is the second attempt, but this is episode 11 of the Unfunded podcast. I'm Lachlan Jones, professional triathlete. This is my good friend.
Leighton Wall, also a professional triathlete, and we have
Sarah, a producer? Question mark?
Nah, pretty shit one. Pretty shit one from yesterday's efforts.
Sorry. Shut up. I feel so bad about it.
you're a
awful.
bit stressed. weren't
I
you,
did.
after?
I did. I think I had to cry in
Yeah.
the bathroom.
That's right, I cried as well on the drive home. But
Did you? Shut
Fuck, I have to come back.
we're gonna come back tomorrow now. Nah, that's all right.
Nah, so good. We're here and we're in high spirits.
Yep,
Yeah.
you learn from your mistakes. But
We do. And we're all in black. How come we're wearing black
I don't
today?
know. Well, somber from yesterday.
It's summer. I love
the
that.
loss of our beloved recording.
Oh, stop.
That's all right.
All right.
before we get into it, how was everyone's week? I know we all spoke about our weeks yesterday, but
No one actually asked for my week yesterday.
Oh.
see,
Yeah.
I think yesterday, this is probably not a bad thing because yesterday's intro, we kind of jumped between quite a few different
Yeah, we did.
things. So
I think we actually screwed up. Yeah, I think we did badly.
Anyway, let's
this
go-
is much better already. I feel
good.
a good vibe.
Yeah.
No?
Okay.
Great.
sure.
Just me.
We'll go left to right this time, so we don't miss anyone. Sarah, how was your week?
Okay. It was really good.
I've got to remember what we did last week now. Sorry, go.
My parents came to visit.
Oh, yeah.
over
Nice.
the weekend.
I remember that.
At least mine would be new.
Yeah, and they brought, so everybody's got a box of their stuff at their parents' house, right?
Yeah.
Like old school books, old diaries, that kind of thing. I've got like shitloads. I've got at least 3 boxes there. Okay, a little bit more like 5. But they decided to bring them all up this weekend and dump them on me in my new apartment,
Right.
which already
So
does
it's
not have enough space.
cluttered.
Lots of hurdles.
Lots of
Going on.
hurdles.
Yeah, nice.
There is a garage full of shit, and
worst
that was very annoying. But it was nice to see them, and we went out to dinner on Saturday to Rickshaws,
Yep.
which
Yep.
is fancy. And we were sitting next to none other than Owen Wilson.
See, I think that's so cool.
Yeah,
I think that's so cool. You don't.
it's so funny.
I didn't. So yesterday, obviously recorded, yes, but I had no clue who Owen Wilson was.
No, you're like,
I
oh yeah,
thought-
Owen Wright. Yeah,
Owen
he's here
Wright.
for surfing.
Yeah,
No.
I thought it was Owen Wright, the surfer, the Australian surfer. And I think, where did you go again?
Rickshaws.
Rickshaw. So it's in Burleigh. The surfing's on at Burleigh at the moment, and I've gone 2 and 2 together. Surfer, Owen Wright.
How did you?
Owen Wilson's way cooler.
Mate, Owen Wilson.
Actually, no, I don't know
Owen
if he's
Wright's got
cooler.
a pretty cool story.
No, actually, yeah, I doubt. I take that back. Owen Wright is cooler, but Owen Wilson's definitely bigger.
he's
He's
a big
huge.
name. I've come to found.
Owen Wilson's huge.
Did you do some googling?
I did do
Did you
some
watch his
Googling.
movie?
Have you watched Wedding Crashers?
Nah,
No,
Wedding
no.
Crashers or Drew with
What?
Taylor.
But I still don't
Drew
watch
with
any
Taylor's
movies.
pretty. We'll watch
I
Wedding
think as I
Crashers.
s-
Drew with Taylor. What's another one?
Zoolander.
Zoolander. Oh, you got to watch Zoolander. Fire and Ice.
Fire and Ice. Yes.
Nah, none.
Fire and Ice and Zoolander are pretty
If
funny.
you asked me about a movie, I couldn't tell you.
With
I
Ben
only know
Stiller?
a few
I'm
movies.
so confused. You don't know
I've-
Zoolander?
I've watched about 5 movies.
Have you not?
What are the 5 movies that you've watched?
Paddington 1, 2,
Stop it.
and 3,
You're lying. You're
I'm
making
not.
a funny joke.
This makes so much sense.
and then probably like half a Harry Potter here and there.
Oh, well, that's
That's
cool.
about it,
That's pretty
yeah.
awesome. Yeah, good for you.
You are a little teddy bear, so
Why Paddington?
makes sense.
I don't know. I just really like
My
it.
It's a very-
girlfriend made me watch it.
No.
It's endearing. It
No.
is an endearing show. There's no doubt. But
I've liked Paddington for ages.
See, I'm a movie enthusiast. Like,
I can't sit still. I'm in that generation of TikTok.
Don't act like we're in different generations.
No, we aren't.
What the fuck?
I just can't.
I'm like 2 years older than you. I'm sick of this.
You can say it to me.
Yeah, say it to Sarah.
I've been corrupted by
hate that.
Instagram. I just like reels.
These boys do that. You boys do that to me all the time. We're like at swimming and we're like, oh yeah, you and the older boys. I'm fucking 2 years older than you. Like, what do you mean me and the older boys? Like,
you're on like the cusp. I mean, you're 2000.
Dude.
Anything older than 2000 is
they think I'm old.
Different generation.
They're acting like I'm old.
Well, I don't even want to tell you how old I am. So
can we guess? That's rude.
Do you not know?
We did.
Don't you know how old I am?
Sarah's 32.
34.
Ooh.
35.
Yes, 35.
You can't have a second guess.
You can't. Closer. No, Lockie wins. Lockie wins. 35.
35.
But yes, Owen Wilson. That was so crazy.
That's what we got to.
Yes. He's in the Gold Coast right now filming for a movie called Runner with Alan Ritchson.
Okay.
Have you ever seen Blue Mountain State?
Yes.
Have you actually?
Yeah. Good movie.
I did not think series.
I haven't watched it then.
Oh, okay. Bummer.
What was I thinking of?
What are you?
Blue Mountain Ridges?
Oh, okay. No, we're way off. This one's like a college football show.
Sorry,
and
I'm thinking of something else.
I don't know what else he's
Mine was
in.
a country movie.
Massive star, and I was literally next to him. And my mum was like, I'll take a photo of you and Kyle, and she's got him in the background. She's a genius, my mum.
What, Owen?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, you got to tell the story again.
Your Beyonce story in time.
Oh my God, it was Rihanna.
It was
Fuck, were you even listening?
Perfect. It's like brand new to you later.
Yeah.
I can tell you the story.
Rihanna.
Yeah, because we were
I can tell you the whole story.
Can you actually?
Probably.
No, don't tell the
Sarah
story.
does it well.
No, don't tell the
Sarah's
story. No, because what we were talking about was that I didn't want to go up and ask for a photo, right?
Yeah.
And you guys are the same. Like you'd never go up to a
There's
celeb.
nobody. I can't think of anybody I would go up and ask for a photo.
No, it's just
You're
an
too old.
awkward.
You're too old for that.
You're too old for that.
I just feel like once you sort of get to
What?
past the age
10.
of
14.
No, I'd
16?
say 16.
16, yeah.
You're starting to get to that point where it's like, come on, you don't need a photo.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I still always want one. Now I just take it sneakily because I can't ask. Because an issue did occur with Rihanna herself.
Yeah.
And I will tell you the story. So I was in Tokyo in Japan. And I went into this tiny little ramen shop. It's like world famous ramen, but it seriously only seats like maybe, I don't know, 50 people max.
That's a fair few for Tokyo, wouldn't you say?
What?
50 people?
How many people it fit in there?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. There was a few tables, maybe a little bit less than that, maybe like 30. It was
Okay,
really a
yeah.
small.
They
It
usually
really
are.
was small.
But like famous.
Yeah, like it's a chain and it's quite
Yeah,
famous
okay.
in Japan for having like the best ramen.
best ramen,
Yeah. And so we decided to sit like at the front where you can see them make the ramen.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing you know, this woman walks in. I only saw the back of her. She had like cornrows in her hair. She had a leopard print jacket. She had zebra print pants. And she was followed by a bunch of people. So I was like, okay, this is a posse.
That's a big deal.
This is someone. And so my partner at the time, I was there with him and his sister. And he was like, who is it? It's someone important. And so I leave around the corner and less than 10 meters away, 5 meters away, is Rihanna.
You can touch her.
I could touch her. I could have run, dove, and launched myself
But
out
then
of it. She was,
yeah.
I might
Get bashed.
Get bashed. But she was surrounded by everybody. So she was at the back.
Well, I mean,
like-
she's this A-grade celebrity.
She is
like
proper.
Who's she married to? Is it Jay-Z?
No,
she's
no,
not married to
it's,
anyone. That's Beyonce. Get that girl out of your head.
You are
Different
you're way
one.
off.
Yeah.
No, she is with what's his name? Tiger
Rihanna.
or something. Like a rapper.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's had a baby
She's
with
been
him.
through a few.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
I can't keep up
Chris
with them.
Brown's the only one I remember.
Yeah.
for
Well,
these
let's not
reasons.
talk about
Let's
that.
not talk about that. No, he's a shithead. But anyway, so I was super excited. Bitch Better Have My Money, one of the best songs ever written. Do you guys know that one?
Of course.
Okay, good.
Oh, I'm going to
You're going to sing it? Go, Lockie, go. And so I thought, okay, we've got to get a photo because no one's ever going to believe us. So me and Charlotte went over to ask her for one. Made sure there was nothing in front of her. We're like, oh, excuse me, like, oh, sorry to interrupt, but and she looks at us. She looks over to the left. Next thing you know, this like 7-foot freaky big bodyguard with a like cliche scar over his left eye was like, not right now, she's eating. And we're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And we like ran away.
Yeah, see, I still just don't think there's any need to be that rude.
No.
Like you can, like you are still a human. The people who have come up to you are
sorry,
still
mate.
human. Yeah, just
I'm
go.
eating.
Yeah, hey, not right now. Is that all good? And
Yeah, catch me at the end of when I'm finished.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah,
see you
yeah.
outside.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
something like that. Which is just two
Just not
girls.
when I'm eating.
Yeah.
I have a policy that I don't take photos when I'm eating.
but then at the
Yeah,
same
just
time,
say
like
something.
when
Yeah.
because of her level of, it's tough for us to really talk about it
Of
because
course.
when we are not in her shoes. Like she would
Yeah.
have, think of the amount of people that would be following her every day. Like
No, exactly.
Like,
And that,
yeah.
that's, same with Owen, right? It would just get
yeah,
so
It'd be-
annoying.
You get sick of it.
You really would. And so, whatever. But we were upset and we're like, no one's going to believe us. And my partner at the time, he was pretty cheeky. He's like, I'll get a photo. And so he goes to the bathroom. He comes back and he takes like 100 photos as he's walking past us.
Just holding it down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like probably pretty obvious. And we're like, oh, cool. So we're looking through them all. And he's bloody just missed her. Right?
And that's why he's the ex.
He's got half,
Exactly.
got half a
You are
cornrows.
Dumped immediately after he failed that task.
Nice.
But we're looking through them, there's nothing. Next thing you know, this bodyguard comes back up to us, gets right in our face. He's like, delete that photo of Rihanna. And I went mute. Like I said nothing.
Panic.
I
You want
freaked
noodle in
out.
the
tea.
Yeah, I was like, don't hurt me. And my partner was like, it's okay. We don't have a photo of Rihanna. And he's like, how would you feel if you were stuffing your face with food and then someone took a photo of you? And I was mute, but I was like thinking in my head, I'm like, bitch, Rihanna doesn't shovel food into
Yeah.
her face. Okay? Like,
Yeah.
delicate.
She does it very delicately.
like, don't know her at all,
Yeah.
like I do.
I'll be her security from now on. Thank you very much. You step aside.
Exactly. And
Bitch, get out of here.
yeah, bitch, get out my money. And so he's like, we're gonna call the cops. Like, we'll call the cops on you unless you delete it. We're like, well, you can call the cops. It's a public place.
Yeah.
So fine.
I wanted to take photos of the ramen restaurant.
Yeah, exactly. I just wanted
Fuck
the
Rihanna.
ramen. I don't know.
Where's best ramen?
And so he was like, whatever. He left and we left. And I was like heartbroken. Like I thought about this for days afterwards, how upset I was about it. Because Rihanna was right
He's
there. She
done.
could hear the
Yeah.
whole conversation. So we're looking back through the photos. And what we realized is that my partner's phone was on live. So we do have a photo
So
of
you
Rihanna.
can, it's where you can set it to a different part of that live.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, so
yeah.
it's a bit of a film and like you've
Yeah.
got photos all throughout. So there is a photo of Rihanna and I
Oh,
will show you that photo. And
We'll put it up on the
prove-
pod.
I will.
This
I
is
will.
Rihanna
That
back
one,
in, when was that?
Oh God, when was that? 5+ years ago? 7.
Back when Leighton was
6
still in
years?
school.
Yeah, back when he was just a
Yeah,
baby.
I
Were-
was.
So yeah, I'll get that. I'll get the Owen one. I'll put them both on the board. You
Nice.
guys can check them out.
I think the closest one I've had back when I used to work at the Burleigh Pavilion. Margot Robbie came into the Tropic.
That's pretty big.
Stop.
There
Oh,
was
I just had chills.
there was an aura around that girl.
Of
That was
course.
like she had this golden glow. It was
Yeah.
quite literally like I've never seen someone gone like,
Wow.
oh my, like
You can,
I can tell
She's
which one's
there.
you because
Yeah.
there's like a big like you've
Halo.
got a
You
you
halo
can
around
hear
it.
a choir singing as she stepped in.
Yeah, as
It's
soon
like,
as she walks in, it's yeah.
The
but anyway,
floors aren't sticky anymore at the
Yeah.
tab. They're clean.
I think they're stickier. No.
but even her friends kind of I remember her friends getting up and telling the staff that, hey, you're making her very uncomfortable. Everyone's staring.
Wow.
But we're like, it's Margot Robbie.
What
Of
are you
course
meant
people
to
are going to
do?
stare. You
So-
can't come out in public and like, these are your everyday people.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to say? Hey, everyone, is Margot Robbie? Don't stare at her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
What's going to happen?
This is what's so weird because when I was at the
Reverse
restaurant,
psychology.
we-
Everyone stare.
Yeah.
we came into the restaurant, right? We were seated at this table that was very loud at my mum's
Yeah.
deaf.
Oh,
So she was
right.
like, can we move somewhere else? Is there a quieter section? They're like, yeah, no problem. We'll move you over here.
Owen Wilson.
And just as before we were about to move, the waitress said, just be aware, there is a very big celebrity seated next to you, so just be aware of that.
Wow.
And like, if she hadn't said anything, because
You
he
wouldn't
was
have
wearing a big hat, totally
You
pulled
would-
out
wouldn't know.
incognito, I would
Yeah.
never have noticed.
Yep.
So it's like, bitch, why are you bringing this up?
Yeah,
like,
you shouldn't have said
now
that.
I'm
Yeah,
freaking
now I'm
out.
gonna like
it.
Now we're freaking out.
Well,
that-
exactly. Because like,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
again, like I remember when I was there, I didn't know it was Margot Robbie until someone told me, and obviously she was in the Tropic,
Just a
and
blonde chick at
well,
the tab.
yeah. Well, I mean, I was a manager at the PAV, so all of a sudden
Ah.
I started collecting glasses in the Tropic area,
Yeah, of course.
not my area. Shouldn't have been there, but I was collecting. They were like, "Lockie, wrong section of the." I'm like, "No,
Yeah, no
I'm just helping you
shit.
guys out." Like, come on, fuck, take the extra hand, all right? And then
We're good over here.
Yeah,
This
when
side's fine.
they were complaining about everyone looking at her, it was just me walking past.
It was just you.
The
Did you get
beady-eyed owl.
Did you get a sneaky photo?
No,
Come on.
Nah.
No, I didn't actually.
Always
I wish
get
I
a
did.
sneaky photo.
I didn't think of that. I was panicking.
Yeah, I bet you
And then I
were.
got in trouble. I got sent back to my side.
Oh, I know that feeling.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So
Head
that's...
bet- what is it? Tail between my legs. Ran back.
Oh, poor thing.
Lockie, what did you do?
What did I do? I played a game of golf.
How did that go?
Golf.
I still suck at golf. I say still. Never was good.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, though,
Golf,
isn't it?
golf is an awful sport.
Yeah, your head has to be in the right place, and
Oh,
you could go once and just have a good one, and then next time you just
I just want to wrap a club around a tree every time I hit a ball. I'm like,
Just angered.
I'm so angry because like I'm aiming that way. I'm trying to hit the ball that way, and it goes that way.
Yeah.
And it's like,
you chipped it.
How have you done it?
how have I gone backwards? Like, how have I just put 10 balls in the water? Like, it's so annoying. But
Hitting it straight.
yeah. Anyway, it was we were doing like a bit of a content day, I guess, for one of for my other company that I own. We were doing a bit of a content day for one of the golfers that we have on board. So that was fun. He's an incredible golfer. It just is so embarrassing to play with someone that's actually good.
It's it's playing with the good guy that would have mainly been bad.
It's all right if you're playing with another hack like me.
Yeah.
Well, like,
that's a bit of fun, but then you see a guy actually hit it well. And
well, because like
This is awkward.
like he's trying to hit it that way, and he accidentally hits it that way, and he's pissed off with himself. I'm like, shut up.
And then everybody has to wait for you to
I've just missed the ball completely 10 times. I've just done
He's done
bad.
twice. You've hit 10 into the bush.
Yeah. Lucky we were playing our Ambrose,
Yeah, I
so
was
we were
gonna
going off the best shot.
Oh, yeah.
So lucky we were doing it that way, so we would have been there.
Were you
until
on his
dark.
team?
It was only 3 of us, so we all just went. So it was like me and my business partner. With Legacy, we just all played a team of 3 Ambrose. So my only goal was that one of the shots was mine that we went. One of them was mine that we went off. And I got 2. So out of the whole 9 holes, 2 of my shots were good enough to play off.
Oh, good on you.
But I mean, I think it was 2 of mine, maybe 3 of my mate, and then the golfer. The rest were
500.
Yeah, the rest went off his.
It's just a weird sport. The only sport you want to play less, and that makes you better.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I love it. I enjoy it though.
It is a good social game. I booked my flights. I actually, again, I brought this up yesterday. I should have brought it up earlier.
Yeah, you should have.
I've only got 3 more recorded podcasts in the studio.
I love how you just dropped this like
Dropped the
an
mic.
absolute bomb. Yeah, you dropped the mic literally.
Kind of said, "Hey Sarah, by the way, I'm not going to be here for the podcast anymore."
I had a heart
8
attack.
weeks.
I had 2 heart attacks yesterday.
Yeah,
thanks to you
sorry.
and myself, I suppose. But what?
I mean,
what's
exciting.
going on?
I booked my flights. So obviously, with the triathlon sort of seasons, I guess you have your domestic season. So being Australian, obviously we race the domestic season, we race the Australian series and the Oceania Championships, and then a lot of the racing just moves over because it's winter time. Yeah. It's a summer sport, so it's summer and coming into summer in Europe. So the season sort of ends here in Australia, and the racing is just a lot better, and it's more dense and more athletes, more money, more everything. So it's a bigger sport over in Europe. So I was over there for like 6 months last year, but I'm not going that long. I'm only going to go for, I think, 7 weeks all up. But 3 weeks before I fly. And
Did you ever book your return flight home?
Make
sure that you come home after 7 weeks?
I did say that. So I went last year and I told myself I was only going to go for like 2 to 3 months. So I was going to come back after the Olympics. I only book a one way. I only ever book one way. I've never booked a return. And
how do you get away with that? I didn't think you could do that.
No, you can. You can.
You go to the UK.
I go to the UK.
So
yeah, it's a bit easier because you can be up there for 6 months.
Oh,
so
okay.
last year they started checking because I did get close to that 6 month mark. When I came in from, I think it was Morocco or one of my last races in the sort of getting close to that 6 months, border security were very much like, all right, now show us that you do have a flight out of here.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, so...
so you're going to be in England the whole time? Or
Wales. Actually, I've been in Wales.
Wales?
Yeah.
Are you staying with a friend? Or
staying with a friend, so I get to go see my British mum and dad, Ollie and Georgia.
Aww.
So, yeah, Ollie's my best mate. So it's pretty special that we've got to... he lives on the other side of the world, but every year I get to spend a few months living with him. So
that's really nice.
Yeah, he's a good mate. It's probably good that we don't see each other all the time.
Why?
It's just
he's trouble.
He's better now. He's got a girlfriend.
Okay.
But I think it's I think we just like to stir each other up.
Of course.
just like best mates do.
Fair enough.
But no, so super excited to get to actually. I planned a little bit. Yeah.
That's
so
good.
Leighton, you're not going?
No, I'm not going. I went over last year. I stayed with Lockie and Ollie as well. and that was quite funny. But yeah,
What?
I'm just gonna go to
What's going
Asia
on?
and race in Asia.
Lockie's looking around. What is it?
up?
Where's the whiteboard?
Oh, the whiteboard. Oh, you need me to
We'll
get
do
my
that at the end.
whiteboard.
We'll do that at the end.
Yeah, I'll get the whiteboard. It's
do
just
it, yeah.
outside.
No, not going to Europe this year. I'll just stick in Japan and
Living
China.
with me in Europe was fun.
Yeah, it was very fun.
Yeah. So we had a spare room where I was obviously staying in Ollie's place, and I just paid rent with Ollie's leased house, and Leighton was talking
came
about
over
coming
to
over.
race,
Yeah, and I said,
and then-
mate, come stay with us. We've got
So
a spare
yeah, I
room.
stayed with those boys for
Yeah.
a month.
So fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So-
good.
It's good.
What are you going to do then while it's a bit of a down season, Leighton?
I'll go race in Asia. So there's
Okay.
a few races that I'll do in Japan and China.
Yep.
And then it links off over actually quite decently this year, the Asian kind of season compared to the European season.
Okay.
So I just thought bang for buck is to go to Asia rather than having to go over to Europe. Because, I mean, for someone like me, I can't really make any money over there. It's very much an expense out
Yeah.
for the whole time. But where I can fly in and out to China and Japan quite easily,
Yeah.
and still stay here and train rather than having to figure out bases over there. And
Yeah.
it's just
of
simpler.
course.
Yeah.
That makes a lot
It's
of
tricky.
sense,
It's
yeah.
tricky to you can't just go. Obviously, you can't go
No,
on a
you
30-hour
can't.
flight just for a weekend.
No,
Like,
exactly
You're
right.
battling jet lag.
You
where
have
you
to
don't
be
have
very
that.
prepared.
Yeah. If you're going to Europe, you're not coming back and forth to Europe.
Yeah, you've got a very good base in
Yeah.
Cardiff, which you've set up obviously over the years. How many years,
Yeah, I think it's my third or fourth year. Yeah, it actually is. It was the first time last year where I was finishing a race in Morocco, and I was like, can't wait to get home. I was like, no, my Cardiff home, not my Australian home, my Cardiff home. Like that's home.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
no, it's cool. It's definitely tricky to balance the two. Like, what's worth it going just
what's
back
worth
and
it?
forth to Asia
at
or
this
Europe?
stage for me, it's worth just going to Asia rather than
I also
making
think
a trek over to Europe.
Asia's a good sort of progression stepping stone as
Yeah,
well.
exactly
Like you
right.
see a lot of people maybe jump into the European racing a little too quick. I would say like they're a different breed over there. I look at when I went over in 2022 after COVID had all settled down, and I should not have gone in 2022. I was not.
Yeah.
I had no right racing then. I wasn't good enough. Like I just sort of thought Europe's the place to be. That's where the racing is. So I rushed over there where there was so many better races. I could have raced in China, Hong Kong,
Yeah,
Malaysia, Japan.
develop your craft.
So you were just kind of getting flogged.
I
Is that-
went in there and I was like, I look at the races now, and there was races that I did last year that I was coming, like top 5, and 2 to 3 years ago I was getting 70th and 80th in those races. I was just getting smoked. There was really no point in me being there.
Yeah, it's disheartening as well, I
Yeah,
suppose.
it's disheartening, but at the same time, I think,
I think you do have to go over. Like I went over last year and raced a couple, and you definitely see. I mean, there's such this big hype around Europe, but you definitely see. Oh, it is a bit of a step above. You see the depth of field, and you go like far out. There's 40 guys in this front pack.
Yeah.
Where around here you've got, I don't know, 10, 15,
I think
20
ours was,
max.
10
Yeah.
in Devonport.
So
At the same time, you do want to surround yourself with people who push you there.
Yeah,
So
exactly
it's
right.
like that extra challenge can be a good thing.
yeah,
For sure.
Yeah.
I think you can get that though in Asia though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can develop your craft over there a bit more.
I think it's very
But then
important.
it's
Sorry, go on.
how much
Sorry,
how much
go on.
coin and can you afford to go over?
Especially if you're
a
not
big factor.
if you're not making anything, like obviously I'm very fortunate that like commercially sponsors, like I'm able to afford to go over there, but for people who might not have that and might not have an established name, it's you're going over there basically. I was stuck in the trap. You work a job, you spend all the money that you save from that job on
exactly
Europe,
right.
and then you're just back in that job when you come back.
Yeah,
Like,
100%. That is actually it.
And
that
I'm
was kind of last year for me.
I'm just wondering exactly how are we going to do this without Lockie? Are we going to get Lockie in on the old
Just
Zoom, or
turn the
are we just going to get rid of him? Do you reckon?
computer around.
Could we replace him?
I don't like that you guys brought that up again. You knew how it made me feel yesterday.
No, we'll figure
No,
it
we're
out.
brainstorming.
No,
It
might be
no.
a- might
You
be
knew
a
it upset
Zoom.
me yesterday. All right, you knew that upset me yesterday, and you brought it up again. You didn't need to do that. Okay,
We
No,
can't.
I'm irreplaceable. Tell me that right now.
You're irreplaceable,
Thank you.
Lockie. God. All right, we'll figure it out. We'll
Leighton.
brainstorm. We'll brainstorm.
What did I do?
What happened in your week? Since we clearly
Some new
didn't-
information.
Yeah. I was about to go to Sarah's running, but
Let's get Leighton.
Something new. I actually went on a hike.
I saw that.
Ew.
Yuck.
What kind of
I
hike?
saw it on your girlfriend's story, and I thought, You did that like just after a session?
No. I swam in the morning, and that was all I had for the day.
Oh.
So then, no, it wasn't a Saturday after I'd run 21.
That's what I thought. I was did you just go and run out in the bush and then do that?
Instagram's fake.
Yeah, okay.
I actually said that to you the other day. I said, "Oh, are you gymming on Saturday?" He goes, "When have I ever gymmed on Saturday?" I said, "But I saw a story last week that you were in the gym on Saturday." It's like, "It's Instagram, bro."
I was like, that's recycled content.
That was from 2 weeks ago.
That's just what I had in the stored bank.
Yeah. I went on a hike around Springbrook, saw a waterfall. That was pretty cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
How far away is that?
That was an interesting one.
I don't know. It's up the hill.
Okay.
Up the hill.
Thank you.
Up Springbrook Hill? Like
Nice.
an hour?
It's probably an hour drive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm one of those waterfall searching
Yeah,
kind of
waterfalls
people.
are cool.
I like a good hike to a waterfall.
Yeah.
I
I like a
thought you
waterfall.
just said ill.
No, I don't like. I like a waterfall type of. Like if there's something at the end.
Yeah. It
like
wasn't
if-
just a hike. No, I
Yeah.
wouldn't do that. I'm not a big fan of walking. I'd rather run
Same.
or ride.
Yeah,
Fuck
that's why you guys do triathlons.
Yeah.
Just
I don't
walking's
really
annoying.
like walking.
You want to get from A to B as quick as possible.
Yes,
Exactly.
that's my thing.
This was actually quite enjoyable. And then I sold the mighty Holden Astra. I wouldn't call it a lemon.
I wouldn't call it mighty.
I sold the Astra.
Yeah.
The 05 Astra, it's gone. It's out of my hands. I sold it the other day on the weekend.
Shed a tear.
yeah.
Yeah, I did. It was my first car.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you've done well to hold on to it for that long.
5 years.
I've been
I
about
had
5 cars.
it. And
Now you're $500 richer.
Nah,
that actually?
can't be.
yeah. I went and took it to like a dealership thinking, oh yeah, I might get a little bit of money. First up, they said, I'll give you $500.
Oh,
Did they?
Yeah.
wow.
So
oh my God.
That sucks.
I was kidding.
it had a couple of issues. Anyway, I then phoned up a couple of wreckers.
Yep.
They offered me $700.
Much better.
So I thought I'll wreck this for $700. Anyway, good old Facebook Marketplace came in clutch. I actually thought it was going to be a scammer because it came up as a scam alert down the bottom.
Oh.
So I was.
Well, I mean, that's good.
Yeah,
I think that would be a scammer.
I was pretty skeptical. So I met him in a car park somewhere undisclosed, not near my house, and
An empty car park in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, it's
Leighton.
a good place to go to the scammer.
anyway, he saw it. He looked at it. He goes, "Oh, there's a couple of issues," and he offered me $500 initially. I was like, "Nah, mate, I can wreck this for $700." He goes, "Can ya?" I go, "Yeah." Anyway, he took the bus to where I met him. I said, "Mate, come on."
You got to
If you
drive
don't-
home somehow.
I said, "Do you want to catch the bus or do you want to drive it home?" I said, $700 and you don't have to catch the bus. He goes, "Oh, okay, $700."
Oh my God.
Paid $200 just not to get on the bus.
Wow.
Shows how good our
Anyway.
public transport is here.
Literally.
Yeah. So, yep, the mighty Holden Astra has gone on to a new home. Hopefully he fixes it up. and
God, that's a
gives
good
it
story. I'm ashamed we missed it yesterday.
Gives it a couple of-
Got it now. This is what this is all about.
a couple more years of life.
Nice.
So,
He's probably just going to take it to the records for 800.
Yeah, that's what I
yeah,
was
he's probably
about
got
to
a mate
say.
that wrecks him. Yeah. Oh, well. Some people win and I got $700. So
Nice.
I'm happy with that.
Your shout for beers on the weekend.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Maybe not.
Okay. Oh, God.
I'm going to go to
Worse.
Japan.
Are you going to Japan this weekend?
No. Why would I go to Japan this week?
I was
Later,
about to say.
racing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Lots happening in the sports world, though.
Yeah,
Lots
it is.
happening.
Big Australian Sports Week.
Yeah. First one, Gout.
Yeah.
Rapid.
Nice name.
Did you know this?
I know of Gout because recently I saw this video where he like blitzed this
Yeah, he's
run.
been
It was
flying.
epic
Yeah.
flying, yeah. But he still didn't get the record.
He's got a heap of-
100, but he got the under 18 200 world record.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's flying. Some of the stats on he's an identical Usain Bolt.
Yes.
Identical. How he's built, how he runs, his strengths, weaknesses, like everything. He just screams Usain Bolt, which is so cool. I used to think, I remember when I watched the 2012 Olympics, I thought because everybody loved Usain Bolt, I thought he was Australian. So when I was 12, I thought Usain Bolt was
in green and
He was in
gold,
green,
yellow
or green and black,
green.
or yellow and black, or no, they were in green in 2012. Yeah, so I thought he was Aussie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for like majority of my childhood, I thought Usain Bolt was Australian.
Aw.
So now I actually get to watch an Australian
Run fast.
run in the 100. So that'd be cool.
Yeah, that is cool. Yeah.
His
fire out.
his 200 time.
His 200 time was quicker than his 2 100 times of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
That was crazy.
just shows, like, again, just another sort of, that was Usain Bolt.
So he went
in a nutshell.
10-9 high and then 10-9 high, I think, again, or mid. And then he went 19.84.
I saw somewhere he just recently went 9.99.
Yeah, that was on the weekend.
That was.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So he did 2 back-to-back sub-10s in one day, and then he runs the 200 pretty much quicker than what he ran the 100.
Has there ever been an Australian runner sub 10?
Yeah, there's been, I think, 2 or 3 Australians. You had Rowan Browning before 2020 Tokyo. He ran really
flying
quick.
mullet.
Yeah, the flying mullet.
Flying mullet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've even heard of that.
That was quite big for Australia because he made the Olympics for the 100.
He made the semi as well, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. But he got the qualifying time that day, and I think not many Australians really do get a qualifying time in the sprints.
Well, he was a big hype around Tokyo.
Yeah, he was.
He was big in Tokyo.
And he did well, like, semi or a quarter.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
Well,
what's the issue then with Gout? Why is he better on the longer distance? Is he like slow off the block or something like that?
yeah,
do you think?
he's just a big body too, bit long limbs. So, he's not that like short, stocky, explosive. He can't get his cadence up as quick.
Right.
Where getting out of the blocks is about getting your cadence up quick. You see the shorter, more explosive guys where he's got that longer, bit of leaner sort of body type. So when he does get up and running in that stride, he just
flies.
How long would his stride length be? 2.5 meters.
Honestly, he's running like one step there, the other step like at the end of the room. Like it's wild. It's wild.
That was crazy.
Yeah, an absolute gazelle. The other one, which
we put it in for you.
I don't understand how you don't know this person, Alex Volkanovski.
Can we Google him or something? Can you get him on your phone?
The Volk,
look at him.
The Volk from Wollongong, from Gerringong.
I know I did say that I was a big UFC fan, and I am. It's probably the only sport that I will watch when it comes on, like the big ones. Oh. No, I'm still not watching triathlons yet. Oh, yeah, well then, I will.
Alex
okay.
Volkanovski.
Oh, that
Surely
guy.
Surely you know him.
Oh, Alex Volkanovski.
He's like
Why didn't you just say that?
Oh, fuck's sake.
Cult hero of Australia.
No, I do know him.
Anyway, I thought it was really impressive because he's come off 2 losses and he's 36 now. He got knocked out twice in his last 2 fights and then coming back at 36 and just like dominating to win the world title again. I think that is so cool. A 36-year-old, how much punishment has that bloke taken in his life? Can you imagine?
Coming from rugby league now into a...
Rugby league, the greatest game of all, apparently.
Nope.
You need to tone that down. It's seriously impressive. And he's a bit of an icon in the sporting world, and it's a good representation of Australian athletes.
Like an Aussie battler.
I think we've got some pretty big characters from Australia in the international sporting world, which is cool. I think like he's a big one. We spoke about this yesterday. He's a big one. You got Daniel Ricciardo, who's a big one. Yeah. You've got I keep forgetting his name.
Nick Kyrgios.
Yeah, he could have been a bit better on the playing side, but he was a bit of a controversial one.
He still made a Wimbledon final.
Exactly, like still. I mean, didn't live up to his potential.
No,
but
his hype,
But on the international stage of people that majority of people would know who they are. Yeah, I think we've got some pretty big Australian icons. Who's the Matildas player? I mean, she's probably in a bit of hot water at the moment.
That's
Sam Kerr.
Yes, thank God that's going to annoy me so much.
A little bit of hot water at the moment. But I think beforehand,
what's the hot water with Sam?
I think she had some racial
slur,
to a allegedly
taxi driver in
she did.
London.
Yeah, because obviously she lives in the UK. She plays like Manchester United.
Yeah, she does.
Chelsea. Sorry, I was just spitballing.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, said some racial slur allegedly.
Don't know the court details.
Yeah, we haven't kept up to date with that.
Taxi driver.
But yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so I don't think she's actually getting picked for the Matildas again. I heard a report.
She's played.
What do you mean? She is the Matildas.
Yeah, not anymore.
Like
not anymore.
What?
I mean, when you
unless she's injured,
when you do a racial slur,
when you do something like that,
over.
It's more than just your own personal brand at that point. Like,
of course, yeah.
When she is such a big icon in the, again, we don't know that she could be playing for him, but when you are such a big name. In like you just said, she is the Matildas.
Yeah, that's
not a good representation for the Matildas. Then, if that comes, that is true. So,
oh no.
Anyway, she was a big one.
Naughty.
Okay.
All right. On the topic of big sporting performances, Sarah, how's your running going?
Yes, I did again.
Good, because you didn't bring an egg.
Yeah, no, I know.
Actually. I had a good egg here.
Yeah,
chocolate egg.
You've got a chocolate egg?
But you've run, so you don't...
You don't get it.
You're not allowed it.
Wait, that doesn't make any sense. I should get the chocolate egg. No, yes, I ran twice.
Eggs are punishments.
Yeah, you're right. It's meant to be punishment. But so I ran twice. I ran on Tuesday, and Tuesday I was like, I'm flying here. Like, you know, when it is so mental, actually.
I think running is all mental.
Yeah.
I think like so much. They say it all the time. Like you can, your mind will stop you before your body does. Like your body physically can push so much further.
Yep.
Than your mind will actually allow.
Yeah.
Really.
No, I
your
think that's true. Because like when I get into a frame of mind where I'm like, okay, I'm feeling really good. Like I can do this. I have a mantra that goes on in my brain. I say, I am a machine. That's what I say to myself. Do you guys have something like that you say? Yeah. What is it?
No,
you're not going to say.
Oh, mine's like just your standard, like this is temporary. Like the pain is temporary.
I like
sort
that.
of thing. Like pain, like again, like we race a lot of distance races. So it's like 5K, 10K, and it's like that 5 to 10K is not going to go forever.
Yeah, that's good. I like that.
Far.
Yeah. I'll get to the finish line and
I'll be right.
I can drop to the floor and take some deep breaths, and in about 5 minutes I'll be good again.
Oh, that's cool too.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not like me with the Terminator. Like
I'm
a
not quite. Not quite.
But so I was running really well, and I was like, I could run more, right? And I thought, let's not freak out. Let's not push it too far. Let's make sure that I can do 2 times in a week, right, where I'm doing the strategy we have imposed. So come Sunday, I didn't run Saturday because my parents are around. Obviously, Saturday went out for a few beverages.
So you've been hungover Sunday.
Yes, and I had you in my head going, Sarah, if you're going out for drinks, you're punishing the next. You got to back it up.
Next day.
And so I went, and I got to tell you, it was a struggle.
Yes, nothing worse than running hungover.
Yeah, like burning.
Haven't done that in a while, but
no,
like
I know the feeling.
Your breath,
You've
like
done it enough to know the feeling.
Done it enough to know that I don't want to do it again.
It's awful. Like my lungs were just burning, probably from like 100 vapes. I've just been like puffing away.
See, that is something you have to stop.
Yeah, I know.
That's not going to be good for you.
I know.
Your lungs don't like that.
How do I quit? Any ideas?
You just go
just
that
stop.
Bin.
Never again.
That's it.
Yeah.
You guys have obviously never ever smoked.
No.
Have you? Well, because you've been addicted to anything either, right? You've not been addicted.
Oh, I've never been addicted. I mean, I've done it. Never been addicted to it though. I've done it on like
smoking.
I've never been. I would have smoked like once or twice.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Once you, well, look, you guys obviously aren't smokers, but yeah, like once you pick up the habit, especially with vaping, it's like so hard.
Yeah, okay.
Like vapes are much more addictive than everything else.
I don't know how. I don't know. Like, and like I said, it's not been a regular thing at all. It's been like a once or twice sort of thing, but very much like that did nothing for me.
Great. Don't start. It's
it's
just when you keep going and then you start using it for like stress relief. Because the idea is it reduces stress.
But this is stress relief. The running is the stress relief.
No, it is.
That's what we use.
That's dopamine.
But
so much.
Vapes don't actually de-stress you. They'll increase your heart rate. The reason that people feel maybe sometimes a little bit less stressed is because you're breathing properly. You're taking deep breaths.
That is crazy.
Yeah, it is all still a mental thing anyway.
Yeah.
The physical like withdrawal symptoms, there's not really any. It's all in your mind. It's a thought.
See,
of
why
like,
are you telling? You're telling yourself this right now.
I'm convincing myself. I know, and it's like you want something and you can't have it.
It's like a little comfort, like I need it.
It's like a stress ball.
It's like,
I need it.
It is. It's like when you're a kid and someone tells you can't have something. And you're like, well, now all I want is that.
Yeah.
You should replace it with something like, I don't know, chocolate.
I mean,
chocolate.
Much better.
Chocolate. Yeah, I think replacing
or
with
actual
breathing.
Blueberries,
yeah, exactly. Mixed
my blueberry
berries.
flavored vape. I got a pint of blueberries.
I think I just need to breathe.
Yeah.
Right, and I'll get there one day. It's just that I'm stressed right now. Okay, shut up.
But
you got lots of boxes in your in your apartment.
Yeah, you got it done. Regardless.
I did. I did go running and
with your chin.
Not that chin. Now, before we move into what we're going to talk about next, I think should I grab what
yes,
from
grab
outside
the whiteboard.
of Excuse me a moment, guys. Chat amongst yourselves.
Are we going to cut this?
Nah.
We're just talking. Keep talking. Keep talking.
Say something.
What are you doing, Lachlan? Get off your phone.
We might cut it.
Have we?
I've done nothing.
I'll act like I've just drawn the 190.
This It's actually less.
It's actually less now. No, you're right. Do you have your phone?
No, I don't. You got your phone right there.
Sorry, I'm filming.
Oh, you're filming.
Why are you filming?
Hell.
I was going to send it to a friend.
Yeah, you definitely need
What,
to.
your woman?
My woman.
What are you doing?
Cut that out.
Cut what
Yeah,
out?
this is all.
385. 566 take 385. 566 take away 385. As if we gained
9 in a day.
9 followers since yesterday's accidental stuff up of the recording.
Wait, who's got the followers?
Okay, so Leighton has, what did we just say?
566.
Leighton has 566 followers, and
Okay, so we're talking about Instagram here.
yeah,
Just,
and the
for
podcast
context.
and the podcast has
How many followers the podcast has is 300 and something.
anyway. The difference between Leighton's following and the podcast following is 181. So we're going to count that down. We're going to count that down every episode until. Let's see if we can try to do this before I go away, because that'd be really nice.
That's 60 a week.
So
Let's get 60 followers a week.
Yeah, okay, so we can beat Leighton.
We
I
got
love
9.
this.
We got 9 overnight.
Yeah,
That's
true.
pretty epic.
Well, that
Is
equates
60 a week. We could do this before I go away, because I want to be here to write on the board.
Let me hold this over here so that you can see
Oh.
the face here.
I want to be here so that I can write the negative
Negative.
when we're in the.
Oh,
now
no,
you've got some work to do.
It's you're down at the moment, so it's negative 181 now.
Okay,
As
let's
soon
not
as
get
it
into the
turns
specifics
positive.
because that's just going to confuse me.
Okay.
We're going to put this
Okay.
up here just so everyone, and it's going to be behind
The
your
case
head.
of the matter is we are actually running up to you, Leighton, right now.
That's not good.
It's
Not
funny that the
impressive.
podcast is actually. I'm a little bit bitter at that because my following hasn't. I think I've gone up like 1 or 2. So the people who are
Really?
following the pod, they're not following us.
No,
Which is
well,
pretty shit from you.
as I said,
Not good enough.
Maybe they like me more.
That's
buddy.
impossible.
Did you just see that? 9 overnight.
9.
9. Oh fuck, that hurts. That actually
yeah.
hurts because that's on track.
That is growing quick,
That is
and I
on
can't wait for that to happen. While we were on the topic of Sarah and your running, and you mentioned last week that your Fitbit was giving you all sorts of fuckery with the data, and it had you in specific zones and whatnot. And obviously, we're trying to coach you into becoming a 10-kilometer runner at the Gold Coast Marathon on the 6th of July.
Yep.
Right.
Perfect.
Sure.
12 weeks.
Which you committed to.
God, I don't know if I did.
You did. Anyway, we want to talk a little bit about, and I like to think because the sport of triathlon, and I think endurance sports and running, and we've spoken about the hype around, all that at the moment, especially it's internationally. It's not just on the Gold Coast, not just in Australia. Worldwide, you got run clubs popping up everywhere. You've got the running hype and the endurance. I think just
sport,
health and well-being is getting pretty big at the moment. Obviously. There's a lot of, and I think we're starting to see, and this is sort of the comments we've made before, is there's quite a bit of misinformation getting around.
Yeah, I guess over the different trainings and how they actually work, I guess there's people just throwing stuff out into the atmosphere and hoping that it sticks.
And I guess
really it doesn't actually make it much sense through a, I guess, training environment or training program
in your philosophy.
Time.
It's dependent, and I think I like to
what
think
is their backing thinkings?
They've just heard
stuff?
something on Instagram and sort of rinse and repeat. That looks good. I'll video it in a cooler way and get more views. That's essentially it. I like to think that we've probably got a little bit of expertise in this area. We've been doing sport, and I mean obviously not high performing sport, but we've been doing triathlon. We've been doing this sort of niche for quite a while. Since we were like 10 to 12 years old. We've grown up in it. We've gone through quite a few different programs. We've been in different environments. We've trained with different types of people, and we've competed at a high level. On the international stage. So I like to think that we
have a bit of a say.
If not, we'd.
You can listen anyway.
Just doing it.
If not, I'm just going through the motions and wasting my time.
No, your guys' advice to me has been really good so far. So
what we want to talk about is the training philosophies and what they are, how people have different training philosophies.
Because us two, we are very different. We train very differently.
And we see guys who we train with different philosophies. Then you have, let's say, the influencers who I don't really see a philosophy that they shtick at. if you know what I mean. Or they might have one, but
it's very generic.
Yeah.
Very, very general.
Like general polarized training. Run easy,
you got to
run hard.
You got to
what's an example
run
of that?
easy to run fast.
Yeah,
you got to run slow to run fast. It's like no shit. But like it's running at an aerobic pace.
Yeah,
what's
heart rate.
It's the science behind it.
What does that mean?
Just run slow to run fast. So essentially, like we said last
Run
week,
far?
No, run slow to run fast.
How?
So they're essentially, you know how we said you last week, like the 140 beats is a fat burning state. It's an aerobic. You're building up an aerobic base. Yeah. So building up an aerobic base, building a bigger engine. If you build a bigger engine, you don't fatigue as quick, which means you can get through a 5K, fatiguing less, running faster.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
Putting a bit of science behind the context of they would have no idea. They just know run slow to run fast. Why?
Yeah.
So
heard
that's
the buzzwords.
Yeah.
So obviously, what is a training philosophy? Sarah, do you know?
Well, I would assume it's a way to train.
Yeah, so essentially, it's the how and why behind the way that you train or the way that you're coached or the way your coaches train you.
A reason why you do what you do.
Yeah, exactly right. So very much it comes down to either people are very scientific based. At the moment, a very famous philosophy is the Norwegian method. I'm sure everyone has heard about that. The Christian Gustav Casper Storner's like hype around the Norwegian method, which is obviously very, very scientific. They use the lactic acid measurements. They're in the lab like bloody lab rats all the time.
A lot of people from the general public have brought this up to me before as well. Like, like that Christian guy.
Yeah.
It's like they're just seeing his YouTube videos.
Yeah, exactly right. So they've made content. They've got content out there. Obviously,
they're very open with it.
Yeah, they're open, which is really cool to see. And they're sharing their method and their philosophy and their methodology behind their training. But obviously, he's a big, well-known figure. Christian's won Olympic gold, 70.3, and Ironman World Championship. So he's gone from
one of the best.
Yeah, he's gone from the short course to the long course, done very well. And how has he done it? How have these three guys just burst onto the scene as young pups to now dominating around the world?
And they've done it in a very revolutionized way as well. No one's really done it before.
No.
It's sort of taken just the grit aspect out of it and gone, no, we're not just guessing here. We're not just going off feel. We're not going off, we're going to look at the specifics. We're going to look at the data. We're going to get treated like lab rats, essentially. We're going to be in controlled environments and we're going to really look at every single little aspect from aerodynamics to your blood lactics to your heart rates to your power output to how you utilize the calories that you put in your body,
what you're actually eating,
everything. Like they studied everything. They've taken poo samples and like studied how they
the
digest.
Thermometer up their bum.
They've like put probes up there. They've done everything. Like core body temperatures, like quite literally everything.
I'm kind of surprised that people haven't done this yet. That we're really it's just a guessing game in a way as to what works. And now they're like, we're putting science behind it. Now we're actually looking at this stuff in depth.
The hard thing is, obviously, with this kind of method, the Norwegian method, it takes a lot of resource. So they're obviously
well-funded.
Well-funded from the Norwegian Federation. The Norwegian government has very much invested in this whole program. I think they're now a bit more independent, but they have the backing through sponsors and all that.
And you also look at their everyday sort of environment, and we've got it here. Like they run off a 4-day cycle, so like they completely ignore the Monday to Sunday sort of cycle. They don't look at it like that. They have a 4-day cycle.
They live in their own world.
You quite literally need to just ignore the concept of reality and everything
time
going around you in time, and they've created their own little. This is how this 4-day cycle is going to maximize our training output. So they train up in the mountains, they train in labs, and they train wherever nobody else wants to go. So they're their own little isolated training camp. And again, like we couldn't do that. Like we've got jobs, we got other we got podcasts to record for everyone to listen to. Like we've got other stuff
to record twice.
We can't really do that. I guess. And
so again, these people like every day training. They're doing the 4-day cycle, but they're just doing it.
Yeah,
so they've broken
over and over and over. And over.
They've broken it up. They've broken it up in their sort of way that they've found.
They've figured out that's
works.
Like the best for recovery, getting in the volume, the intensity, however they do it.
Yep.
I guess I if you want, like, I think it'd be easy if we just sort of put it into our own sort of examples. I guess I'll go first because I know that my training philosophy and my program is as closely based to the Norwegian method as we possibly can. Like we said, we don't have the resources and the funding and the money and the this and that to be able to, they're in the labs every second month. They're testing all the time. They're finger pricking, taking lactic tests at every single session, where unfortunately I don't have that sort of, if some sports scientist wants to come and sponsor us, then I'll happily take that on board. But until then, I've got to sort of do it my way. But yeah, like they very much utilize the aerobic base, sort of like building just an incredibly huge aerobic base and a big engine. A lot of their stuff is similar to what I do. It's almost like 85 to 90% of training is at a low heart rate, sort of anything under 140 beats. I look at I look at the 16 sessions that I would do within a week, like say 16 sessions within a week, there's 4 of them which are high intensity, like anything, so something will be over 150, 160 beats in a training session. So very aerobic base, lots and lots of hours of just riding slow, low heart rate, fat burning, building a big base. And then when we are doing the effort sessions as well, they're not that VO2 max. We're not, especially for me and my body type, I think that's the big thing that we look at. And I know especially in my program, to really generalize it, there is an anaerobic system and an aerobic system. The aerobic system is the one when you're bringing in a lot, it's more, O2, more oxygen based. Yeah. So that is when you are going at a lower heart rate, you're operating where your body is producing.
You're not using ATP.
You're not using ATP, and your body's using, it's able to break down the lactic acid faster than what it is being produced. Yeah. So obviously, like, that is the big thing that you don't necessarily, you don't want to be producing too much lactic acid in your body, because then that leads to blowing up and it leads to muscle fatigue and, whatnot. That's when people blow up in races. Yeah. So trying to train and perform at a rate where you are able to break down that lactic acid quicker than what is being produced. So that is the goal essentially for majority of my training.
Yeah. So you're drawing inspiration then from the Norwegians. You take their data and see what works best for them, and
so
pretty much implement it.
Yeah, so I do a lot of the similar testing sort of thing. Like I said, I don't do it as often. I do it twice a year, and we sort of take the data that we have from our tests, and then we put it into our zones, into our training daily training environment. So
very cool.
Yeah, so we'll go and do 2 tests. We'll do what is it?
It's like a full body scan type thing?
No. So it's like a ramp test. So we'll do a ramp test on a treadmill. So I'll do a swim, bike and run ramp test.
God. Is it like the beep test?
Similar. Oh. Yeah. So like I'll give you the running. I'll give the running example one. So like whenever I do because obviously running's the fad these days. Whenever we do a running ramp test, we start at, for us, 12k an hour, which I think is just under 5-minute K pace. For us is bang on 5-minute K pace. So we start a 5-minute K pace, which for us is pretty slow. Yes. It's very much a
cruisy job.
Very cruisy job. So we'll start at that. So it's 8 5-minuters, and it starts at 12k and goes 13, 14, 15, up to 20k an hour. So the last 5-minute rep, we're doing at a 3-minute K pace. Yep. So that is the ramp test. And the goal of that is to get from, you're getting a real aerobic base, you're getting your zone 2, LT1, zone 3, LT2, VO2. So you're getting a real broad range of data there. So, you can see what's weak, you can see what ceilings need to be improved. If it's your LT1 that's lacking, your LT2, if it's your aerobic base, whatever you need to be getting more conditioning of, we then know, because it's there, plain blank, there's the data, what's good, what's not.
What's LT1 and LT2?
So it's like lactic threshold 1 and 2. Okay. So like LT1 is similar to like your tempo, LT2 is similar to your threshold. Yeah. So if you've got a weak sort of tempo or threshold, then the spike will be a lot higher than what it should be. The lactic acid spike. You'll be producing more lactic acid than what you really probably should be doing. Yeah. So that was my biggest problem when I came into this program, is that I produced too much lactic too quickly. So my whole goal was we wanted to move it onwards. We wanted to move everything on. So we wanted to be able to go further. Your
tempo.
We wanted to be able to, I wanted to be able to produce, so say what my lactic acid production was at LT2, we wanted that to be like a zone 3 or LT1 sort of thing. So we wanted to produce less lactic within those zones. So basically just lower everything.
So scientific. How do you do that?
By building a huge engine, so lots of aerobic base, which is why, so like there's a lot of boys in my squad who are the complete opposite. They're more aerobic athletes, where I'm a much more anaerobic. I produce lactic, and I'm sort of quick, fast twitch fibers.
Produce lactic.
Yeah.
So it's really like looking at each person individually and figuring out where their weakness is and then improving on that particular little part.
Yeah, in their
to then improve them overall.
Yeah, in their body physiology, which is very much, and I think in the endurance space as well. Like even people that are very much aerobic based, like I sort of tell a lot of my athletes all the time, with the sport that we're trying to do, majority of it is an aerobic based sport. Like we're coaching a lot of people that are trying to do marathons at the moment, and in the past they've done 400 meter reps like fast, and it's like you're running for 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours. Like you need to have a huge engine and not be producing, like you want to produce as little lactic as possible to minimize that muscle fatigue, and doing 400s is almost emphasizing lactic acid production. Like that is a big lactic acid. So all you're doing is teaching your body to produce more lactic acid. So to be running a good marathon pace, and this is again, a lot of influencer sort of coaches these days, they just want clients coming in the door. So they'll do what's fun. 400 meters is fun, doesn't hurt as much. It's only one lap around the track. Where realistically, I'm coaching this afternoon at the track, they're doing 3 2K efforts. That's not as fun as 400s. That sucks.
But it works
so much
to
more,
improve you.
So much more beneficial.
So obviously you're doing a lot of aerobic base. What besides the aerobic base are you doing? So your kind of speed stuff, like obviously you said you only had 4 of them a week.
Yep.
What would they kind of consist of? Are they up at VO2? Are they at threshold? Or are they more of a tempo-y kind of effort?
They're definitely more of a mixed bag. So it's obviously week to week.
Yeah.
But so I'll do one hard bike ride on a Monday, hard swim on a Tuesday, hard swim on a Thursday, and a hard run on a Friday. And majority of those sessions will be around an hour's worth of efforts.
Yep.
Yeah. So like the bike, sometimes we'll do 3 20-minute reps sort of thing, or broken up into 10 minutes, or it's broken up into sometimes a few different ways. Fartlek sessions, obviously, where it's under over threshold. So you're teaching your body to produce a little bit of lactic, but then you're also teaching it to try and flush out that lactic.
It's called fartlek.
Fartlek.
Okay.
Fartlek. Yeah.
Fartlek.
Yeah, it's weird. No, we used to laugh at it when we were 12.
It's the first I've ever heard of it, okay?
Yeah, we thought it was funny too.
It is funny though.
Yeah, so a lot of those sort of sessions. Very rarely am I going in and doing, a full 30, 40 minutes of just high intensity VO2.
Yeah.
Like if I am, it's a few strides, maybe like I'll get down to sort of just above race pace, I guess. So for us, like, and again, you're only just touching it.
Yeah.
Like I guess, for example, on my session that I did on Friday, running, it was 45 minutes of 3 minutes at 3:15 pace, 2 minutes at 3:05 pace, and then 1 minute at sort of 2:50 to 2:55 pace. So you're sort of just dipping down underneath that 3 to 3:05 pace, which you're then starting to produce a bit of lactic. But then you're going back to the 3:15 pace, where for me, that's just below threshold.
Yeah.
So your body's then starting to break down that lactic production the lactic acid that it just produced.
Yeah.
So a lot of it is just trying to teach your body to utilize the lactic acid and break it down and convert it into energy.
Yeah.
Which is used over those sort of longer distance, just below threshold reps. Yeah. Which, I mean, I like to think since I've started this program, I've come along in leaps and bounds. So it's sort of looked at me as an athlete as a whole, an athlete as an individual. What are my weaknesses? Building an aerobic base. I didn't have one before. Let's build one. And then sort of...
Well, it worked for you, right?
It has. Yeah, for sure.
There you go.
Cool.
How would you explain? Because I definitely think that we are in a different
and from
program.
Like I've trained with you plenty over the years, but I don't do your fast stuff. That's obviously where we differentiate in our training. I'd like to probably what we say is both of our coaches are overseas.
Yep.
So that is also a very different dynamic to someone on ground.
Yeah.
Which I feel someone on ground can see how you feel. They adjust it maybe on what you look like. Walk through the door. How do you look?
Yeah.
You look tired. Well, you might do a different thing. So that's, I think, one thing to say, that we are both coached by people overseas, international coaches.
And there's always there's more way to skin a cat.
Yeah, exactly right.
So just because I do what I do doesn't mean that another way is wrong.
Yeah.
As well.
So from my understanding of like the philosophy of my coach and what they do, they talk about essentially the minimal effective dose. So what it is the minimal amount of speed work that you need, or intensity, to reach what your racing dynamic is. So they talk about that a lot. So essentially where I gather that from is you have to do enough, but you don't want to overdo it to where you are fatigued, you're flat, you're completely, absolutely smashed.
And then not able to perform.
Yeah, exactly. So it's all about the consistency over the whole week of the program, realistically. So kind of where we go differently is we don't use the lactate or any of that kind of scientific stuff. We use our power, we use our time, and we have obviously heart rate zones which correlate to our power, but we don't actually prick, we don't test. It's more based off feel. So then holistically throughout your program, you can hit your sessions. And our sessions are very much achievable. We don't go up into the high VO2s. We're not always at like a threshold level. It's very much a steady, sustained effort. Through what I do, I swim with squad, so do you, but you do a couple just individual
swims. I've started just do a majority of it by myself.
So swimming for me is different to what my coach gives me for ride and run. It's obviously incorporated, but that's a bit different. It's more intense throughout the week. That's just swimming. That's how I like to swim, always a swimmer. So I feel like I respond well off high intensity most of the week. It's spread out throughout the week. We have some aerobic stuff and some high intensity stuff and threshold stuff within that swim week. But our swimming, I would say, is different to what I'm talking about here. But what we do more so in our bike and run, we have more sessions throughout the week. So we have 2 hard run, 2 hard, or 2 key runs, 2 key rides. And they're more of a steady effort rather than we're not pumping out 6x1K as fast as you can. It's a steady effort that is very achievable. It's meant to be broken down in achievable chunks. So let's say a Tuesday session is 2-minuters. It'll be 8 2-minuters descending down from, let's say, a 3:15 to race pace. So it's very much achievable. It's not a long sustained effort on that day, but it's achievable. So that's, I guess, the amount of load that you want and intensity to achieve that, I guess, training stimulus, but not go overboard to where you're cooked and you can't back up for a Wednesday ride session, where let's say then a Wednesday ride session is 2 20-minute efforts, but they're just steady. So it's all very much controlled in the way of a steady effort that is held. It's doable, it's achievable, it is enough stimulus to, I guess, progress you for a race, but the whole overall week is what you're looking at rather than we have one session here and on the other end of the week we have another session that we can hit the middle, you're completely fucked.
Yeah.
And I think like the old days of just ragging yourself at every session is kind of gone.
It's kind of changing.
It's definitely
it doesn't
like
help, does it? Like if you go too hard.
When I went into like this program now, it was very much like anybody can do a 3-week block. Anybody can finish 3 weeks of hard training.
Going hard.
Can you finish a 6 to 8 week block?
Yeah, and that's what I feel as if the philosophy under what I am under. It's more keeping sustained throughout the year. We can hold on to this solid amount of training throughout the whole year. Obviously, you have your base phase where you're not doing really any intensity. I think everyone's kind of like that. We talked about that before, pre-season. It's just long, boring hours. Then you have your building into, race kind of stuff, and then you have your race-specific kind of work. It all builds in, I guess, three steps throughout the year, depends where you are. But I think it's more as an individual overall program throughout the week and the months to keep it achievable throughout the week and not overcook yourself. So especially with something like running, you don't want to overcook yourself, absolutely batter yourself on a Tuesday and a Saturday where you do like key runs and then, end up injured. I feel as if progression over time.
I like the idea of it. It seems like not as hectic. Like
we
just. You know what I mean?
I feel like you're like, so essentially like my Friday run, you do it just sort of split over 2 days.
Yeah.
I feel.
Yeah.
Like, because I don't know.
I would say the workload throughout the week. So I would say I do about an hour of work running, like workload of running intensity.
Yeah, so essentially
throughout the week.
Mine's split up into two.
And my ride would be relatively the same, maybe pushes upwards of an hour and a half.
Just playing devil's advocate here, do you think that splitting it up into two is beneficial to, like, it's sort of, I guess, meeting the requirements of a triathlon? Because you're not splitting the race up in two.
You're not like pushing yourself in a way as two.
A lot of our efforts are longer held efforts. So it's not, we do I guess a session and it's the build run. Yep. So that's a long, either 30 to 45 minutes of build run. So we start at, let's say, 3:45, 3:35, 3:25. Seems pretty achievable.
Yeah.
Seems pretty simple.
Yeah.
But that's obviously 45 minutes of endurance at that kind of pace. It's well under race pace, but it's kind of slowly building that volume and I guess keeping that, it's more of a tempo-y kind of effort, but for sustained longer rather than hitting, the 6x1K.
Yeah, it's tricky because and it's only been in the last like sort of year or so, a lot of the running we do, like Devonport, for example, that's a 10-kilometer run.
Yeah.
I struggle with not hitting over 10 kilometers in training, like for a session.
Yeah.
I struggle with the process, like not a lot of people do. Like
Yeah.
I sort of run around 13 to 14 kilometers in a session.
Of effort?
Of sort of like threshold tempo, because when you are running at a controlled pace, for me, it's like, how are you then teaching? Like, I'm running at a controlled pace for 13 to 14 kilometers, which is 3 to 4 kilometers over what I would be doing in a race. If you're doing less than that, like less than the 10 kilometers, I sort of struggle to sort of see, and I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. I'm no expert. I just do my program, and I'm just completely oblivious to everything else.
All of us,
completely oblivious to everything else. But when you're running at a controlled pace for 6 to 7 kilometers, how do you then expect to run hard for an extra 3 to 4 kilometers?
I mean, most of our sessions are probably up like around 8K of work.
Yeah.
8. I mean, the 45-minute build, you can be upwards of 12.
Yeah.
So that kind of, it depends on where we're racing in the season.
Yeah.
So if we're coming up to a Olympic, that's what we were doing. We were doing over 10K of work in a session. Yeah. So it does vary where we are. Obviously, like your stuff would vary as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like our next race is a super sprint.
Super sprint. Yeah. I'm not running a 45-minute build to be able to run 1.1K.
Yeah. I don't know. I just still think there's like I did a 45-minute fartlek. I'm running 1.5K, but
yeah, I did more like a bit of tempo-y threshold work on the weekend, and that was nearly 40 minutes of work.
Yeah,
of that.
It's tricky because it's like you're trying to prepare for a whole season. Even though there is like you look at it and it's like, all right, we're running a 1.5 kilometer race in 3 weeks, and then a week later I'm doing a 1500 meter run.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, a 10 kilometer run. So how are you trying to train for both when they're literally 8.5 kilometers different? So, I definitely think, like we said, the day of hammering it every day
has definitely changed.
Yeah. It's an old school mentality.
I think we saw yours is very much scientific, based around the lactate and
we test our blood every session.
All that stuff. Mine's more a feel, so hopefully we can sustain it for longer over the year. I'm sure yours is exactly the same like that.
Oh, yeah.
Everything's off kind of feel, but we don't do that stuff. But yeah, the days of smashing yourself, I feel, has gone through these philosophies that are kind of developing. It's more sustained progression over time.
It's not let's smash ourselves and then just sort of
be good for a day.
Yeah, be good for a day. It's like, it's not just let's be good for 3 weeks. It's let's be good for 3 years, 4 years. Let's get consistent hours and hours and hours. We try to look at it as a whole. I aim to be 1,100 hours for the year. So like we break it up into U365. That's a big thing for us. 1,100. I think I'm like 1,100 something. Just over. Yeah, I'm over. But anyway, like that's sort of like a rule of thumb. for us and what we do. And if you can do that, then you've held a very good consistent year. Again, we do 3 different sports and we do it at an elite level. You don't expect an everyday age grouper to go out and they don't have the time, the resources, the recovery.
But I think what you probably find from what we've both said, if you are obviously just an amateur going out there for fun, is the consistency week to week.
Yeah.
That is probably the best way that you will improve, I guess.
Even if you do go out.
There's no real hack to being consistent, is there?
It's just getting it done. And that's why I say it to a lot of my athletes, even if you don't feel great, you go out. I'd rather you go out and just give 100% of what you got on that day. If we have to pull back the times 10 seconds, 15 seconds per K.
But at least you've got it done.
I'd rather you do that than just go, I feel shit, I'm not running today.
Yeah.
Like, because that is so much more damaging than you going and not being able to hit a specific time. So it's the consistency and again, it's the training your body for what it's needing to perform for. If you're running a marathon, if you're running, even anything over like 400 meters, you should be getting like good base threshold in. Like
if you change, your system changes.
Your system changes after about 30 seconds. Like it goes from an anaerobic to aerobic after 30 seconds of running. So even if you're doing a 5K, a 10K, you should be doing long sustained threshold efforts to build a big engine and to be able to teach your body to break down the lactic threshold that is being produced at a faster rate than what it's producing. Like that, for me, that's just
the general.
That's the general.
Yeah.
That's your run slow to run fast.
Yeah.
That's it.
I feel like we've been talking about that exact thing for the last 20 minutes.
It is just a big
that
blown up version.
That one point.
Big blown up version of run slow to run fast.
And I guess that's what you literally heard
guys.
between Lockie's program, my program. Different philosophies, different coaches. Under the philosophy, it's a bit of a fucking buzzword, isn't it? It's a bit bullshit. But it's essentially kind of
and
much for muchness.
Don't say it again.
It's very much just a ruined phrase because of the bullshit that's been surrounded by influencers and what they've said, and you're getting a lot of there is a lot more to it.
I feel as if actually a good coach doesn't actually have a philosophy as such.
No, because
it's individualized.
It's very individualized.
Right?
Everyone's different.
Exactly
I got guys, and like I said before, I got my best mate, Ollie. We were talking about him before. Me and him, we live under the same roof. We ate the same food all last 6 months when I was over there. We would go to a session and we would have the exact same session there. His would always be shorter and faster. Mine was longer and slower. Exact same setup, exact same build, but we would we're training for the exact same sport, exact same distance.
Different people. As simple as that.
Yeah, we would do the session completely different. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Talk to your coaches, guys.
Yeah.
Or talk to us, because I'm a coach. So if you wanna coach.
Quick plug.
Yeah.
Guys, this is a long episode and I'm gonna have to cut out half of that conversation, I reckon.
Why not the intro? Because that was very important.
People want to hear this.
There's
no races for this week, so
no tri suits to be worn, no predictions. All righty, we'll wrap it up there because
it's
we got to go.
Very long.
We have to go.
And we've been in the studio for a combined like
2 hours.
2 hours.
Let me do a quick
Oh yeah,
plug.
Sarah, you plug our.
Hit us up on our socials, the Unfunded Pod. Our email is the unfundedpodcast@gmail.com. Send us the email, slide into our DMs. We love it. We love you. Bye.
Cool, bye.